How's it going, y'all? Welcome back to the Carnivore Hunter. I guess after 90 days of being on the carnivore diet, the honeymoon phase is officially over. And what I mean by that is the weight is not dropping at the same rate that it was originally. The first 30 days was very impressive. The next 30 days was pretty impressive. And the last 30 days has not really been that impressive, honestly. And now I am only talking from a weight standpoint. The last 30 days, I've not lost much at all as far as just pounds on the scale. I've basically hit a massive stall, essentially a plateau. I've got to the top and this is where I'm at. This is where I've been for 30 days. And so I'm just trying to basically figure out what I can do to keep this going. Because I mean, I can look at myself and tell that I'm not where I need to be. I've got a little ways to go. So trying to look at what I'm eating, what I'm doing in a day and that stuff, and just try to figure out like, what can I do to kind of kickstart this next, ideally dip on the scale as far as weight goes. I will do a full 90-day update video with weights, measurements, photos, all that stuff. It'll probably be the next video after this one. But for right now, I just kind of want to talk about this plateau and the stall that I'm in. It's definitely hard on your motivation when that happens, especially when you've seen so much, positive change relatively quickly. It kind of spoils you a little bit, I think. And yeah, I mean, I guess the one main thing that I would say to take away from a stall or a plateau is, it really shows the importance of why you're doing this. I mean, it's not the easiest thing. Now, granted, in my opinion, carnivore and eating carnivore is easier than a lot of other ways to eat. But as far as just comparing it to the standard American diet, where you're just constantly got junk in your face, I feel like it's still a hard thing to do. It's not easy. If it was easy, more people would do it. It is still hard. And so to do this hard thing, you have to have multiple reasons why you're doing that. The scale can't be the only one. And if that was my only reason in the last 30 days, I probably would have just said, screw it, to be honest, because it is a hit to your motivation. And, you're like, well, I'm doing all of these same things that I was doing in the first 30 days, and now nothing's happening. So this is just basically where you're at. And for me personally, I'm one of those people that I cannot stand the thought of like maxing myself out, whether it be salary, skill level within something like a hobby. Like if I feel like I'm maxed out and I can't do any more or can't get any better, I'm way less interested in that thing. And so for me, like if I thought that this was as good as I could be on carnivore, I would really, really lose my motivation and honestly probably stop. But a couple of things. One, like I said, the scale and dropping weight isn't the only reason to do this, for me anyway. There's a lot of reasons that I've went over in other videos of why I want to better myself and why I want to eat this way. And I'm thankful for having those reasons and for knowing why I'm doing it. I just need to figure out what I need to change. Clearly there's something. In the last 30 days I have went to the gym, I would say sporadically. There was a week where I missed just about every day just because of things being super busy at work. But ultimately, I think that I've worked out harder in those last 30 days than I did in the 30 days prior. And so you could make the argument that I have built muscle, and that is part of the reason I'm not seeing as fast of a drop in weight. That's very, very possible. The other thing is like when I really think about what I'm eating, I don't think my fat intake has been nearly as high as it was in the first 30 and 60 days. I guess in my mind, it makes sense that, I've got an excess of fat. So if I don't take in enough fat, I'll just burn that. And I don't know if the science says otherwise, I guess. I mean, I see a lot of people online on the carnivore diet, talking about if you want to lose weight, you got to increase your fat. So that's something that I know in the last 30 days, I've had more chicken. I've ate, one meal a day more often than I normally do. So haven't had like those buttery eggs that I normally have. The other thing, and I mentioned this in a previous video, but I've been really craving coffee with heavy cream. And I think that I'm craving that because of the fat content. This morning, I actually had a cup of coffee. Actually, I had 3 cups of coffee. But this morning, I had coffee and I was out of cream. And like, for one, I felt like a drug addict that was out of drugs, because I went to 2 different gas stations to try to find heavy cream just so I could enjoy my morning. And I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. So I go back to the house and I put butter in my coffee, and I was fine with that. So I think that my body is craving the fat. So that's something that in this next 30 days, I'll probably try to increase fat intake, more butter, and just really pay attention to my measurements and see like am I making changes there? Because if I'm getting smaller but the weight stays the same, then that would show that maybe it's a little bit more of a muscle building type thing. But in any case, guys, what I'm eating right now is a lot of, still in the middle of the day, like bacon and eggs, but I'm only doing that maybe 2 to 3 times a week. A lot of the week I'm not eating at all in the middle of the day. And then coffee in the mornings, I'm doing a lot of heavy cream. I'll try to switch to butter and see if that changes things. At night, I'm doing still like steaks, whether it be ribeye or New York strip. If it's a New York strip, I'm typically adding in like a brat or something just to increase the fat. And then chicken wings, if I'm not craving beef, I'll do chicken wings with like some Frank's Red Hot, some type of a buffalo style spicy sauce. Besides that, burger patties, I mean, just kind of the same things I was doing. And that's what's really weird of like why I just all of a sudden stopped losing. But let me know in the comment section. I know a ton of you all have been through the same thing. What did you do to break your stall? What did you find was the actual reason that you were stalling out? Why did you plateau? Yeah, let me know how you got through it. I'm really curious. I'm not quitting. I'm just trying to figure it out. So I appreciate y'all watching, and I appreciate the comments and the tips and advice that I know is going to be down in the comment section, because y'all are awesome. I appreciate all that. Till next time, y'all have a good one.